What's up, everyone? This is the Fraser LeVay podcast. We're joined by my second longest lasting friend, I want to say, like my oldest friend, Ship.
Yeah,
So,
being there. Yeah,
yeah, there's got to be a better way for me to say that, but second
you're my friend.
longest,
That's fine.
yeah, like 1997, I want to say.
Oh,
98,
six?
97, yeah, or
Yeah,
96,
yeah, be
around in there.
old. As my kids would say in the 19s.
Yeah, in the odd 19s.
Heard that yesterday. I was like,
Kev also comes to us with the best background. Oh, Jared had a good background one time, but I think you're overall taking the best background, like a real podcaster, legit. It's incredible.
yeah.
So thanks
You
for
can
that,
tell
Kev.
yeah, thanks. Hard work.
What is that belt?
So the belts, that's my prized possession.
That's from Williams Lake, right?
No.
Oh, I thought that was when you were Mr. Williams Lake. I thought that was the belt.
That's Mr. Q 2002.
Okay. Quinnell,
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot how I messed up those giant, amazing commerces of Quinnell and Williams Lake.
Yeah. No one wears coveralls like I do. And no, it's from my perfect season that I had a couple years back during COVID. In fantasy, I ran the table. Yeah, went 13-0 and
Look at you.
won everything. So
Who was
with
like
all
your
my bought a belt.
Sick?
Yeah.
Who was your main guy?
Oh yeah.
Who was
now,
who was your main person that you had? Yeah.
I had them all. I had Henry, I had Cooper Kupp, I had Jonathan Taylor, I had Hurts and Lamar Jackson. I think I was the only one in the draft because
I was gonna say, yeah. What kind of is this a 3-team league and you're just buying yourself a belt? You're playing your kids?
No, we've been together for I swear to God, 15 years. I've never won ever. Oh. And then it's the time I ever won, and I was like, I'm the Dolphins now. This is what's happening.
I like it. Nice.
Yeah, and I let them all know it.
So
that's Mr. Perfect, obviously. If people don't know who Mr. Perfect is, that's me.
Oh. So from my little vantage point, I thought it was Hulk Hogan, but the Mr. Perfect makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyone just listening at home, Kev has a full Broncos background and a heavyweight belt in the background. So that's what we were talking about, if you're not seeing. But
I am a Broncos fan, but I know they're not perfect. So let's just let that out there.
I'm glad you prefaced that. You're not like my friend. He's a Dolphins fan, and he thinks that they're amazing, which obviously now...
He's still stuck in the 70s. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like me and you, we're smart fans. I'm a Vikings fan. I know we're trash, and we're always going to be mediocre until maybe JJ McCarthy comes around, but we'll see.
If he gets another knee, then you can go from there. But
exactly.
We just throw 42 times for a rookie quarterback, first ever start, and think you're going to win a game. That's not going to happen. So
yeah, I've always been out. Sorry, maybe I'm not out on Sean Payton, but I didn't like how they were saying he was the greatest coach of all time. They were trading picks for him. That was the talk before whoever he signed with. It was oh my God, whoever gets Sean Payton is going to have to give the Saints 2 first-round picks. I'm like, what? He's good. Don't get me wrong, but let's not pretend
he's got a bowl under his belt, but he's not.
Yeah.
Any guru or anything. They turned down Mike McDaniels. That kid, he's a kid to me, I guess. But he's unbelievable. A play caller, Shanahan. We had Shanahan in the building, and they let him go. And you're like, why? Why would you do that? The legacy of the Shanahans. It just you don't just let people like that walk away. Yeah. But I don't know. Peyton.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I think he's okay. I just didn't like that they were trying to trade picks and, oh my God, he's the best coach out there right now and this and that. And I'm like, what? What am I missing?
I think it's because he generally gets the best out of players, even they could be mediocre, but he can make them better. But play calling wise, I don't think he's not even doing the play calling. I don't think. Or is he?
And
Lombardi was, but
and I mean, he had Drew Brees when he was good, and when he didn't have Drew Brees, he wasn't good. So.
Well, that's a double-edged sword. Breeze gets released from Miami there. That didn't fall through, and then he went to there. They kind of blossomed together. So it was just a match made, right? But
they're like the poor man's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
The
very poor man's.
Exactly. They got the passing records for a while, but
hopefully
the Knicks can do the same thing.
No doubt. Well, yeah, let's get into. So we're gonna recap week one, the bets, the picks I had, Kev's thoughts of the week one, and then we're going into bets against the spread for week two. Some good bets to take, as well as maybe we'll get to QB power rankings if we have enough time. Maybe Bed Bath and Beyond.
Ben,
Um, I keep on saying the word epiphany on the podcast, Kev, but another epiphany I had was I nailed, and you know this is me thinking I'm always right and being stubborn, but I nailed all my losses in week one. Like I went 500, my locks went 500, but I should have gone 80%
wait,
win rate. Yeah. And so I feel like I was thinking about it. I'm almost like the a basketball player. Like if you were the coach and I'm double teamed, and there's like a shooter that's not as good as me, anywhere near as good as me, but I'm double teamed. I'm like, shoot, I pass it to him. He missed the shot, but it was the right decision. Sure, we didn't win the game, but I'd rather lose with the right decision than like making, the bullshit. So my losses
you
were
could,
great decisions, is kind of what I'm getting at.
however you sell it to yourself to keep you going, I totally
Yeah,
get it.
exactly.
I'm with
I
you.
haven't.
I think
I
we
didn't.
saw it the same way. I think we
Yeah,
made some great decisions. I
exactly.
was I was just over 500 as well, and you're like, how did this happen? But it was
Mm-hmm.
just so like it was just bad play all around, like over the league. Like I heard you guys talk about it, like the QB ratings were like an all time low.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we don't have the Peyton Mannings, we don't have the Drew Brees, we don't have they have Kirk Cousins, but I mean, I know you're down on that guy, but
Yeah, sure am.
uh, like the play and just losing, it's amazing losing one preseason game, what it can do leading into the season. But this is
Mm.
like the Patriot way. Like first 4 weeks mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like just like statistically, if you're 2-2, you're still going to have a good chance to make playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
what are these 4 games really? It's a feeling out process.
Yeah.
Guys are going to get hurt with soft tissue stuff. They're going to be back by week 7, week 8, and then you're good to go.
Yeah. No,
So
absolutely.
and it makes it hard for us because we're picking these games and it's a crapshoot. So
Yeah. Yeah. The week one is
really,
always the worst because you don't know. Like for instance, one of my losses was the Bengals -8.5. And if Joe Burrow's healthy, which we have no idea if he was or not, they win by the Patriots did look good, but they should have won. But then you
yeah.
see Burrow and he's holding his hand. He can't throw the ball downfield. Had I known that, I wouldn't have taken the Bengals -8.5.
Well, 8.5 I thought was a stretch.
True.
You got Higgins that just coming like he's getting franchised, and then you got Chase not practicing at all. You're like, Boyd's gone. Like, where's all his reliability? Like his go-to guys are basically, they're not getting paid. So he's saving his wrist for people who get paid. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
fair.
sure like he's just not gonna try. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fair.
I thought I was with Uncle Blaze on that one. I didn't think
Yeah,
they were gonna win. I thought they were gonna cover.
at least cover.
And
That's fair.
at least cover. Like take the points. Like that's a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah,
Week
I
one.
was thinking Joe Burrow. Hey, my wrist is fine. I'm going to show you guys we're back to be kings, and we're going to kick the shit out of the Patriots. And like,
I'm
here
a
we
Burrow
go.
fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'm a Burrow fan big time. Like that guy can ball. He
Mm-hmm.
can he's stone cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I did I tell you I don't think I ever told you this bet. My brother-in-law and I for whoever wins Super Bowl first has to get a tattoo of Hence logo, and he's a Bengals fan and I'm
Whoa,
Broncos fan. Yeah.
that's
So we
that's
made this bet
intense.
when it is intense. So he we made this bet when Cincinnati was in the conference finals, and I was like, they're not winning
Oh,
that game. And
yeah.
then ever since then, I've just been letting him have it because I'm like, the Bengals will never win. They will never win because they
Yeah.
don't like to pay people, and when they do, they
Mm-hmm.
overpay, and then
Mm-hmm.
the team goes to shit. So,
Yeah.
and the Broncos win once every couple of decades. So
Yeah, that's true.
let's
Yeah,
go.
it's like a better franchise. I guess I would place my bets on the Broncos as like a better franchise overall than the Bengals.
I have to say because now we have a new ownership group who seems to spend money. I mean, they spend $700,000 for a new turf mid-season.
Yeah.
I don't see the Bengals doing that.
No.
I didn't even see them trying to get a new arena. So why would they pay a guy like Chase, who's a franchise player?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and they let Mixon walk and a lot of their
Yeah,
defensive players.
like all their defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
I'm
don't know.
with
It's a
you.
year-to-year game, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I don't know. Poor Burrow, though. I mean, it's just, I feel like you're just wasting him away because
Yeah.
now, like the big outcry was like his offensive line, right? Like when he got hurt in his rookie year, and then they beefed that up, and then now, okay, you gotta pay people like in
Yeah.
order to really produce. Unless you got like Mahomes who takes pay cuts, but I don't
Which we
know.
love him for.
Which we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too. I just don't think Burrow is gonna. One of my bold predictions for this year is Joe Burrow ends the season on IR. I don't think his wrist is gonna be okay. He also
No,
fractured that wrist in like 2017. I just don't see it. We'll see.
same
I mean,
wrist.
same wrist. So he's always had something going on with that wrist. Completely different injury this go around, but I mean, I'm sure. Like I've had 3 knee surgeries and a hip surgery on the right side. I'm sure he's just as connected as we all are, on one side of his body. So you would hope.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I could see him being
every time
done.
he gets hit,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? He's going to brace himself, and that's
Hmm.
not good.
Yeah. Some other L's I had in the week. I took Baltimore 3.5, and I was saying it was a revenge game. Half an inch. Not only I win straight up, but cover. So I could cover. I lost the Packers game. That wasn't a lock of the week, but I said stay away from that game completely because who knows what's going on and the field and all else.
Where it's
So
being played and everything, yeah, 100%.
yeah. So I mean that's a loss, but I said who knows. The Titans game is where we got screwed. I was listening to this Bill Simmons podcast and cousin Sal. He said that a team's been up that much with that amount of time left, and they've won that game 66 out of 67 times. So if Will Levis doesn't throw
Is that
what'll be the worst pass of the entire year, they cover. You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
On the
yeah.
yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. I was really high on the Titans this year. I thought Levis would like just chuck. I thought he was just going to be,
Hmm.
throwing some bombs.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
No.
We'll see what week
No.
2 brings, but uh, I'm with you. That Baltimore game, that was a great game for starting
Yeah.
off the season, and to end that way.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore looks bright. I mean, they're just going to pound the ball down people's throats. Like,
Yeah.
how could you know? And yeah, it was a redemption game for Lamar. Like, I think he has a lot to prove. Like,
Sure does.
winning an MVPs now, like he's been there, done that.
Yeah.
But beating the guy across from him, I think is the biggest challenge.
Yeah. I mean, we even knocked people like Peyton Manning for years. I still do, but I was like, he can't win the big one when really I like him a lot more than I did when he was a player. And it's
Yeah,
like, can we knock Lamar or Peyton for literally in their same conference as the best player of their generation? So it's kind of like, if you
yeah,
were playing Jordan, are you terrible because you couldn't beat Jordan during Jordan's run, kind of thing? Or are you just
yeah. You either
unlucky?
love him or hate him, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny. Like, I never liked Kobe ever
Mm-hmm.
until he retired, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, I love this guy. Like, I
Yeah.
wish I would have came around when he was playing. Uh, But yeah, I find that a lot. Like even Brady, like yeah, I think that you just get more exposed to these guys in a different
Mm-hmm.
way. You see them a different way rather than watching them beat your team every week,
Yeah.
or every season, I should say. But yeah, it's funny how that works out. Like, so I'm very, I I don't like the Chiefs, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but I respect Mahomes, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how can you not? The guy's just unbelievable.
Right.
He went to a sweet university too, so
The
I
greatest.
think
Thank you, Kev. Thank you.
yeah, I lived the town. I've been there once, so I don't know.
Yeah. You're a fan.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. I did cheer for them once.
Yeah.
But like it's funny. Like you have to respect the greatness now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I'm older too. Like back in the day, like no,
Yeah.
he's dog shit. He wins every week. He's dog shit. But
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
Right. I think as you get older, you like even in life, you don't putting people down doesn't make you stronger. You kind of realize like,
Right.
okay, I'm not the best at everything. I don't have to be to make myself have confidence. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, what's the word I'm
When
looking for? Like self-deprecation is almost a strength where before putting yourself down, you can't do that because you're young and you have no confidence. Where now you make fun of
yeah.
yourself because you're like, dude, I have 3 kids. I don't care.
Yeah. Now they're
What are
all
you
young.
gonna
And
do?
I know they're younger than me. So
Yeah.
if I was 25, no way, no chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's also been nice being a Vikings fan. I think it makes me good at doing this podcast because I really have never been good at anything with my fanship. So I really don't have a dog in the fight. I just like to be entertained. Like there's some
Yeah.
people who just are so passionate about their teams and that's all they care about. And I'm just like, I just care about watching good play, like being show me something amazing. Like even if I lose a bet, if you beat me with something like, oh, I had the USA national team for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I faded them to win gold and I got killed for it. It went viral on TikTok. I absolutely got massacred by people. But I lost and I was like, watching Steph Curry go nuclear was worth it. Like just watching, like I'm
Yeah.
glad that's how I'm like, oh my God.
Were
That
you
was the
at the
greatest.
game?
No, I wasn't. I wish I was. But just
Sure, that
watching
would
him
have
on
been.
TV. Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
$10,000.
Like,
Uh
yeah, I think you have to gain the appreciation, and especially for you now, like it's content. Like for you, you
mm,
want a good story. It's
yeah.
not the you have a dog in the fight anymore. It's
Mm,
more than so that's cool. That
yeah.
that's good to feel that way. I'm feeling that way too, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I know the Broncos aren't probably gonna make playoffs. I want them
Yeah.
to, but there's no chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything has to go right, and that
Yeah.
just doesn't.
No.
That just doesn't happen in the NFL.
No.
So,
Um
but like case in point for Minnesota, I mean,
mhm.
they probably could have made the playoffs, but
Yeah.
JJ goes down. You never know what kind of season JJ could have had, but
Hmm.
like it's day to day. Crazy.
Absolutely. Back in recap of week 2 or week 1, sorry. I had a few games left before we get to week 2. Texans, I had -2.5. I nailed that. I feel like Richardson completed 9 total passes. One was like the greatest pass of the week, but it's still, he can only complete bombs that are just kind of like throw it deep to someone kind of
Yeah,
running open, but he can't put a ball tight into coverage. Like even watching
so, accuracy.
Allen, yeah,
Yeah,
0.
yeah,
So they dominated him. They got a lucky touchdown at the end. I think the Texans should have covered that. For me, should have been a win.
yeah.
I had the Giants 1.5, but I said completely stay away from that game because if I told you either team won 28-6, you'd been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like no one had any
Either way,
idea. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The Rams
Um,
3.5, another giant bad loss. I said it was going to be close. I said it'd be a field goal game. They went in overtime. I mean, that should just goes to overtime. There should be an automatic 3-point spread on your bets. I think.
yeah, it should end where well, I guess it would
Yeah,
have tied. Yeah,
that's still fine.
yeah.
And then the Jets. My only loss I'll admit to was the Jets. I can't believe they got shit kicked. That was wild.
On a Monday night, coming back,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rogers did not look good.
No.
I don't think he deserves any hype. I mean, and he looks old. Like
Yeah.
now it's too bad the way it all went down, but I expected more out of the Jets too. I picked them to cover and they came out flat. And that defense, like what happened to the defense?
So that's what I was listening to. This podcaster Sean Fennessy. He's a big Jets fan, and I listened to a bunch of different podcasts. And every person in the media was the Jets have the best defense in the league or top 3. They're amazing, which I'm just gonna believe. Sean's like a big podcaster. Yeah, he's a part of the Ringer Network, but he was saying he's like he didn't understand like because their team and their players are way down from last year. He's like this person's not starting. They lost 3 of their defensive lineman starters, aren't playing. Blah blah blah. And he was like, I have no idea what the media are seeing because I see like a significantly worse defense going into the year. And I was like, why couldn't you fucking tell us this, Sean? You holding out like everyone else didn't know this, but you knew. So
it's news out here.
Yeah,
I'm relying on
absolutely. But so yeah, he's But yeah, you have any other quick thoughts on week 1 before we dive into the week 2 picks?
Um, yeah, nothing groundbreaking. I think you pretty much hit it on the head. Like I did pick Denver to cover. I'll tell you this.
Idiot.
I watched. Well, no, I was just so blown away with Seattle's coverage. Like they can tackle open field. Like Denver didn't have any yards after the catch, maybe one or two. Like their tackling was unbelievable. They just played out rookie quarterback, hands down, the best you could probably do, which is a great sign for them. But you pretty much most of my losses were the exact same as yours. Like
Yeah.
Baltimore. Actually, I saw a thing for the Baltimore one. Like if Deion Sanders caught that ball, it would have been completed because he doesn't have a big toe. But
Hey.
and then it was one catch away from being a touchdown. But yeah, week 1 was a lot of learning. There was a lot of learning. That's all.
We're getting to the Giants game, but thinking of interesting facts we saw. I saw Daniel Jones, since he signed his Giant contract, has thrown more touchdowns to the other team than he has to his own team. So I think he's only thrown 2 touchdowns to his own team, and he's thrown like 7 or 8 picks, and I think 3 of them have been returned for touchdowns. So he's has like $150 million contract or something.
Yeah. I think the rest of the league should contribute to that, maybe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, let's get into the week 2 picks. We're gonna go last night. Dolphins, as you know, I hate Tua, not as a person, just as a football player. So I had them as a lock to lose, the Bills to win, especially cover. It's unfortunate what happened with Tua, but we were talking about, we had a little bit of a technical error, but Tua's making $125 million if he retires right now. So that's kind of nice. It's a silver lining. So it's not like he's knocked out and is going home empty-handed if he's unable to play again.
Sign me up if that's the case. I mean, what more can you prove to yourself? Like you're walking away with that generational wealth. Like that's huge. What was I going to say about last night's game though? I mean, Buffalo. Did you see that stat about Josh Allen though? 6-0, now 7-0. Thursday Night Football.
Oh, really?
It's on. Yeah. I think that's. I don't know if playing anymore down the road, but.
And I think they're 11-12 against the Dolphins in their last 12 games. So even before Tua got knocked out, they were getting absolutely murdered. Yeah. The writing's on the wall. Tua can never beat a good team that's not, plays half decent defense and covers them well, plays physical. I don't want to bag on Tua since he might. Like 11-12 in the last 12 games.
Sorry. His record is the teams with a winning percentage.
I think it was like 1-6 last year, and then like 7-20 for his career, or something insane.
Yeah.
So
pay him his money and let him go.
Exactly. And I mean, he'll always be an Alabama legend. As much as I shit on Tua, it was actually, I bet on Alabama. I think they had lost a game or two, and so then I bet on them to win the national championship. And then Hurts was QB, and then Tua came in relief and threw an absolute dime down the sideline on the left.
That one half. He had one really good half with Alabama.
So he won me a bunch of money. So I should like him. Like, I should love the guy. But then he went to the Dolphins, and my friends just want to talk shit who's a Dolphins fan. So I finally was out on Tua.
Instant hate. I get it. I totally.
Yeah.
The other thing is I don't hate the Dolphins. Like, I'm a big fan of the drama and the chaos that goes on down there. Like you can't. Well, and you're lucky because you got Calais. Like you got the inside report on everything there. You can't even drive to the arena without getting arrested. So I think somebody. I was saying to some guy, I was like, that cop must have like had somebody else in his lineup, or he was playing against Tyreek or something. Because like,
I was thinking. One of Tyreek's 11 children was with that cop's wife.
Yeah.
So that was my big thing, my big takeaway. So.
Or he's uncle or grandpa or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's his daughter. because he's like a 37-year veteran. That makes
That
sense.
would check
27
out.
year.
That would check out.
Hmm. Okay. So there we go. Tua slept with the cop's daughter, and this now it's all come in circle. You heard it here first on the Fraser LeVay
Very first.
podcast. So yeah, we're going into week 2, picks against the spread. I've got New Orleans versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are -6.5 or -6 point favorites, depending where you look. This is a tough one for me. What do you have?
Well, the Saints. I heard that they are in hurricane relief. Like their whole week is just completely screwed up. I know it's week 2, the pretty routine regimen.
Yeah,
I got the Cowboys hands down on this one. Like it's good for them to leave New Orleans, but you know, wondering what's going on at home and all that good stuff. Like I think the Cowboys, this should be higher. Like, and the Cowboys
really?
defense is again. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. I mean, you're playing in Dallas. I'm not a big McCarthy fan, but this is a no-brainer.
Okay. I was just looking. Marshawn Lattimore. It looks like he's a game time decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just staying away from this game. But gun to my head, I think I took the Cowboys as well at -6. But 6 is a lot, you know. They're backdoor covers. I'm staying away from it, but yeah, gun to the head if I have to put a bet down.
Yeah, I should say I lean. I wouldn't really pick the 6, but I think they do win by a touchdown.
Yeah.
Actually, I even locked them down as my survivor. So.
Oh wow. There
yeah.
you go. I guess that's fine. The survivor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Next game, Raiders versus the Ravens. The Ravens are -9 point favorites. I know at the start of the week, it was like 7.5, and I said instantly the Ravens. And I'm still sticking to the Ravens. What are you doing?
I lean Ravens too. They'll just continue. Well, I mean, they already played Ravens 2.0 over in LA last week.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be doing the exact same thing this week, just not stopping the run. So,
yeah, and that's what I was thinking. The Ravens are one of those teams that are built to just kill you by a lot of points. Like once they get ahead, just run the ball, dominate you. As from the podcast on Tuesday, Lions or the Lions treatment. You'll get the Lions treatment where
DC going to the fridge or whatever.
Yeah, you go and take your wife and do all. Yeah. Dan Campbell, your wife. That's what the Ravens will do. So yeah, we're on the Ravens.
I throw my wife out and just like the beer and like take her. I want my beer.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this one. Also I think because Derrick Henry had just kind of like a mediocre game, I think they'll want to run him a lot just to make a point. You know, like, oh, don't worry, we made the right choice. He's gonna kill it. So I think Derrick Henry does really well. So I got the Ravens -9 as a lock of the week. I also have a betting tip where take Henry over rushing yards, and then even do some parlays if you want, rushing yards and a touchdown, or rushing yards, touchdown, and the Ravens -9 for a little three-part parlay. So
to piggyback off that a little bit, like, do you think, like, did you hear Hallberg come out and he was just like, yeah, you know, he's not expected to run 31. We didn't bring him in here to run 31 times a game. Do you think he says stuff like that to, like, you know, justify his game plan? Because obviously he's probably going to run for 25 times, maybe 26 times. Like,
yeah,
just so they're like, oh no, they're gonna come down throwing. It's like, no, they're not. They're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe he just was mean because Lamar's going to have some carries and spread it around. But yeah, definitely he's taking the heat off.
They do need to get their wide receivers in the game, though. Like, I mean, just to open it up a little bit more for them. But
yeah, we'll see. I was high on Zay Flowers in fantasy, so I have Zay in a ton of fantasy football leagues, and they tried to get it to him a bunch. I think he had like, I don't know, over 10 targets and touches. Like they tried end arounds with him and a ton of targets, but just I think a couple penalties happened and missed throws.
Oh, you get a couple called back, I think. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then he missed in the end zone wide open at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that Likely situation? Like, I think Andrews is pretty much second fiddle now because this Likely guy can ball.
Well, yeah,
having two guys.
He's been injured. What? Like everyone's been saying, oh, this is Andrews' year for the last 2 or 3 years that he's going to bounce back, and he hasn't. So it's kind of like
he's always injured.
He's kind of showing you who he was. I actually Googled because I was looking for fantasy at the start of the year. I was like, oh, maybe I'll have buy into that it's Andrews' year and whatever. But I was like, he's got to be like 31 or something.
Yeah,
but I think he's like, I think he was like 28 or something. He's 29. Oh, he's going to turn 30 this year. So yeah, he is. Oh, he already turned 29 this year. He just turned 29. So yeah.
So that's still relatively young. I mean, like George
Yeah.
Kittle's what, 28?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I was expecting him to be like 31, 32. So I thought, oh, maybe there's a chance. But yeah, like you said, likely just seems to be the one there now. Shit game next. We got Giants, Commanders. The Commanders are -1.5 favorites. I'm saying the Giants were awful, but I don't think there's any world the Commanders should be favored in any game unless they played like Carolina. And even then, it would be -0.5. Like, I'm just disgusted with them being favored more than anything.
Let's be honest. I think the Giants are in that Carolina conversation. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know, man. With their head coach calling the plays now for the Giants, I really thought that was going to be a game changer for them. I thought because he called a great game when he was with Buffalo, and well, obviously you got Danny Dimes there that just can't throw it to the right team. But I don't know. Commanders' defense is supposed to be pretty good, so I like to see it.
I don't know. People are saying they're pretty good, but then I looked up, and a lot of people have them pretty bad. But I've definitely heard both things. I've heard like they should be good on D, and then I've heard that they should be worst defense in the league. Like I've seen a ton that says they have the bottom 3 defense in the league. So
yeah. Well, in that division, I would have pegged them. They should have been the second best. Well, I guess the Eagles. Sorry, Eagles. Then
Cowboys.
Third best. Yeah,
yeah.
Cowboys are the best D for sure.
Yeah. So I still believe I believe Danny Dimes can do a little bit, and I just don't believe Daniels can do anything. I watched the entire Daniels game. He didn't throw a ball downfield. I think he only threw a pass 2 yards downfield. It was like the max completion. Yeah. So I don't see him if the Giants employ a spy, if they just know that he's going to run first. I think the Giants win. Again, I'm making this a lock of the week. Giants plus 1.5. I'm zagging on Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that's fair. Stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns.
Yeah.
What are your consensus like on division teams on the road? I always go back and forth on it.
I feel that used to mean something, but now I don't think it does, right?
Week 2, you never know.
Like road games, home field advantage used to be a big thing, and now I don't think it exists anymore. Like it used to be -2.5 points. Now I think it's like -0.5 point at best.
Do you think just because teams travel so well now, like most teams?
Yeah, I think like the advent of better like planes now, they're flying in incredible private planes that they have tons of room to stretch out. Health diet is all made for them. All their food's perfectly curated. Their sleep, I'm sure they've all got that dialed in. I also think now like the crowds, like people who are crazy can't afford to go to games anymore. Like the true real fans. Now there's a lot more white collar people. It's still loud, but I just don't think it's as passionate as it used to be with people who are middle class going to games. Now it's like you have to be middle upper class to go to most games.
For some teams, for sure, I do agree. Like I think there's certain stadiums that they'll never let another team overrun, but certain teams just travel so well. I don't know how good the Giants fan base is, but I feel like a 1.5 point spread, like that's a pick 'em really, right? So it's like, and for a road team, that's a safe bet.
Yeah, and I have like a thought about. I wrote an entire article about this about why home field advantage isn't an advantage anymore. And I think another thing I have was I call it like squeaky bum time, where now because of how the world we live in is so negative and just like instant media and blasting people, now I feel like it's worse when it gets quieter in the stadium and it's like, oh my God, our team's going to blow it like they always do, versus the opposite when it used to be louder when you're doing well and you fed off that enthusiasm. So like the peak enthusiasm isn't as great as the bottom, oh my God, our team's going to blow it feeling. So I feel like that now is a bigger negative than the positive of the positive was, if that makes sense.
That does, yeah. Like gone are the days of the Peyton Manning where you could hear a pin drop when he's on the offense, right? Like that's what strove for. But like strove. Yeah, I think that's that's a good point.
Yeah, that's my thought. Just now the anxiety levels and the nerves and like the team not believing you, the fans not believing you, and all this kind of stuff has turned into such a negative, toxic fanship. And
you wrote an article on that?
Oh yeah, full article about how.
Where do I see this article?
Oh, you see it on faneverland.com.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, great article, great website. Next game.
Get you some sponsors, man. We're like,
yeah.
Do you ever listen to the Bussin' with the Boys where they do like the shout out, no free shout out things?
No.
Yeah, we gotta get you some sponsorships here.
Yeah, I like it. The next game, I think, because we just talked about this a little bit or alluded to it. Chargers minus 5.5 point favorites over the Panthers. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going Chargers all the way. I mean, the Panthers are just brutal. Like, I heard you rip them all off here in your previous podcast, and like that, I'm pretty sure you can listen to on.
Yeah, faneverland.com or the Fraser podcast. Yeah, a little plug. Yeah. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, like it's brutal. They've given up so much equity in their team that they've got no good players. Like Bryce Young's on an island. They can't protect this kid. Their defense, like Burns was a great defensive player, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, let's get rid of him too. Like, I don't know. I don't.
My favorite tweet ever was Luke Combs is a big. I'm sure you saw it, but like Luke. I'm sure you saw it because you follow my tweets, but I'm sure you saw it because you read the article that I mentioned this. Like, oh, I'm sure I tweeted it. I'm sure you saw it. But Luke Combs was pissed. He's a Panthers fan. He tweeted like something. He's like, I hate the Panthers. And my tweet was like, see, even a cold beer can break Luke Combs' heart, but the Panthers, you could. You sons of bitches. Yeah, they're trash. And I think we were talking about how the Chargers are one of those teams. If they are, I don't think they're going to beat tons of teams. I think they're going to be above 500. But the teams they will beat, like these shit teams, they'll pound, just like the Ravens, like we talked about.
I hate it, but I'm pretty high on the Chargers this year. I think they've got a good defense. What Harbaugh did with the trenches, like I honestly think they're going to make playoffs. Like they're probably not going to do much in the playoffs, but I think they're a playoff contending team. Herbert's, not going to rely so much on his legs because he can't, with the foot injury or whatever, however that is. But they have a run game. They've got some good bruisers in the background. They've got reliable vet tight ends plus a good offensive line. You see what that guy did to Crosby last week? That their rookie, their tight end, their left tackle.
I didn't see a lot of it, but I heard that he had 17. Yeah, there were 17 times he was against him or Wilkins, who are both animals, and he was 17 out of 17. Yeah.
Crosby was preseason projected to be defensive player of the year, and just completely held him to nothing, right? And that's pretty good if that's your rookie tackle, right? So, absolutely. And they still have the double guys on the outside rushing the quarterback, and I think Chargers will be sneaky good. But the thing is about this game, in any game but this game, obviously, because they're playing the Panthers, but them going to the East Coast, favor that high. I love home dogs, but it's the Panthers. There's no way that they've proven enough to take this game to 3 even. Let alone.
And I've said this on a podcast before, but I didn't realize when I was doing some research, Herbert was second in passing behind Mahomes one year and second in passing or touchdowns, whatever it was, to Tom Brady the other year. So it's you forget he's actually been outrageous throwing the ball. With not much of an offense, not much of coaching. I don't wish it was the NBA, but a little bit where at the NBA there's like the trade deadline and there's some major moves at the trade deadline. The NFL just you never really see much for trades. But it's
No.
amazing to see some wide receiver on it. Like if Devontae Adams wasn't in their division, he'd be the perfect example of he pushes his way out, get me the hell out of here, and they need a team. Like if they got a legit wide receiver, I mean, would they? That's all they're really
Well,
missing.
I mean, I know Diggs. I'm not a big Diggs fan, but I'm so surprised that they didn't go after him. But they kind of let go of a like Keenan Allen, and he's getting on the end of his teeth there. But like, he's still serviceable. He's still a great inside threat. Like, I don't know why you would just get rid of a sure hand guy. But I mean, that's all they really need is. But they're relying on their youth, though. Like, their wide receivers are pretty young. They're not really that well known, and so we'll see. I don't know. Herbert can make them into superstars. I believe that could happen.
Yeah, and another bet I loved was taking the alt line Chargers, even like something like -8.5, so you can get some more juice. They're -5 point favorites, but you can take an alternate line to -8.5, -10 if you want to get crazy. But yeah, Chargers, that's one of my locks. Next game, Colts -3 against the Packers.
Willis starting? I think I saw something about that.
Yeah, Willis is starting, but I heard that Love isn't ruled out. But I'm going to tell you this. Let's say Willis is starting. The Colts are -3. Everyone's saying, okay, well, he can't. The Packers won't be able to throw the ball. Anthony Richardson cannot throw the ball. They both can. Like he had 9 completions last week. We already covered this, but they can't throw the ball either. So I'm taking the Packers not being able to throw the ball better than the Colts not being able to throw the ball.
John Elway played with no knees, and he still threw the ball. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure Love can muster up a couple wins here.
I think so.
I'll tell you this. If Willis is starting, hands down, not winning.
I think
if Love plays, I'd honestly think they'd I'd go Love all the way.
All right. Well, I'm glad we disagree on this one because I'm even saying if Willis plays, they still win because I think both quarterbacks are terrible, but the Packers team is just better. So
they got some good wideouts, man. Like I think the Colts though. Like I was a huge Pitt fan. I had to trade him. It pissed me off because he was the last guy I had left on my. Oh no, I still have Taylor. Sorry. So I had those two, and I honestly don't trust Richardson. I don't think he's a good quarterback at all.
No.
The Packers are going to pick him off 3 times. 3 times this week at least.
Yeah.
So if I think the Packers defense wins this game.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. And they're getting 3 points. That's why it's another lock. Yeah. I got a lot of locks this week. Packers are the lock of the week.
Home dog.
Taking it. Yeah. Also, just so everyone knows, so we're clear, I have my locks of the week, but the lock is that you will win money if you bet each game individually. So let's say if I have 7 locks, you'll end up over 500. So we're clear. I'm not saying every one of these is 100% going to win, which maybe that's what a lock should be, but I don't have a different term for it. So
I'm parlaying all your locks.
Yeah, I would not. I mean, still parlay. Do a little $5 parlay on the locks, but I wouldn't be going crazy.
There you go.
But betting each game individually, all right, you're in good hands.
Yeah.
49ers -5 at the Vikings. I was like, sure, the Vikings look great against the Giants, but it was the Giants. And then the 49ers looked unstoppable. So
they did. Yeah. I'm going home dog on this one. Because McCaffrey, I think he said he was playing, but it's almost like kind of restarting the engine again. I know it runs through Debo. I'm a big Purdy fan. I think he's great. But first road game, it's kind of west to east, home dog. This is everything I kind of stand for. So
yeah,
I do think I think your Vikings pull this one out.
I know, and the Vikings beat them last year, surprisingly, when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and truth be told, Darnold.
Yeah, hey? I had Darnold as one of my breakout. What was the word I'm looking for? My breakout players of the week. Oh, bold predictions. I said he would be a top 12 to 15 quarterback this year statistically, and things are looking all right.
Yeah, I like it.
I am saying stay away from this game. Gun to my head until I see the Vikings do it against a good team. I'm going to the Niners just because they look that scary. But again, who knows? 5 is such a weird number.
Short week for the Niners, though.
Yeah, that's true.
This screams upset. Just saying.
I like it. I like Kev's thoughts here. Next game, Browns Jaguars. Jaguars -3, 3-point faves.
Jags look good. Lawrence looked good. Browns don't look good.
No.
On the road yeah, I know it's not the coldest in Ohio right now, but going to Florida, most teams that come down to Florida don't play well in September. And yeah, I think I don't know. I'd lean Jags. I wouldn't pick it. Well, 3 seems low though.
Yeah. I'm just scared. The Browns' defense is amazing, and the Jags' offensive line is absolutely shocking. Well, yeah, sorry. The Browns' defense is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
They didn't look good against Dallas. But Dallas is always good in regular season and throws a lot. But the Jaguars' offensive line is so god-awful. Like, they're absolutely killing the Dolphins last week. And then all of a sudden, the line just allows sack after sack after sack. And we saw how that goes. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jaguars. I am going to go Jaguars -3, but that line battle just gives me a little bit of hesitation. But again, on offense, Deshaun Watson looks cooked and looks like the worst QB in the league.
That Thomas kid, he looks legit. Yeah, I don't know. I think Lawrence, this is like a make or break year. I read somewhere on Faneverland.com.
Yeah.
Some QB stats. I've already pre-looked this, so I think this is his year. He's got to take a step, and I think this is a step in the right direction year for him. Year 2 with Peterson, so knows, familiar with the offense and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the hype on this guy coming out of college, even coming into college, and he's stepped up every time. Like what his record before he came to the NFL, he was undefeated.
Yeah, I think he only had like 2 losses in playoffs or something like that.
When he was with Clemson?
Yeah, I think he had 2 losses.
Okay. I thought he was undefeated. I thought he didn't lose.
I think they went undefeated his last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But kid's a gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Browns did not look good. And I know this. I have them as my defense. So, yeah, they're hurting. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe just losing Clowney, the clown.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'd lean Jackson.
Yeah, I'm with you. Next game, Seahawks-Patriots. The Seahawks, -3.5 point favorites over the Patriots. I'm going to take the points because I think it would be. I thought the Seahawks would have shown us a lot more. They didn't play very good against Denver, and I think Denver's just trash. No offense. They didn't do much against them, so I don't see how they can do much against the Patriots. And I think the Patriots are better. So it'll be a close game. The Patriots could even mess around and win. So I think at least it's a field goal game.
I don't think the Patriots win 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not down on the Patriots. I just, the Seahawks, it all depends on Walker. Now, if he plays, which I think I just saw something.
He's out or he's doubtful.
He's doubtful. So, yeah, I don't believe in Smith there. So, yeah, I don't think I don't know. On the road, West Coast team going to the East, home dog. I mean, this is everything I stand for the Patriots. But
I was gonna say,
yeah, I know, right? I've been bit on
for something.
Stand for something, Stan.
Yeah, or you fall for anything.
Yeah, the Patriots cover, but the Seahawks they squeak it out. This is just like the Seahawks defense is really good, man. Like I was saying, if they can open field tackle like that and just give him everything in front and just not really give him anything, bend but don't break. Like I truthfully think the Seahawks will surprise some people in the division. But yeah, I'll lean Patriots. I wouldn't pick this one. This could
okay. I think I'm gonna go I'm gonna think about this. So I may put Patriots to cover as a lock. I don't think they'll win, but just that 3.5 points. From what I saw from the Seahawks, I'm not as excited as I was to go into the season. Jets Titans. Jets minus 3.5 points over the Titans. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know who shows up, right? Like,
yeah,
I think the backup. I don't even know who the backup is for the Titans, but they got to put him in because Levis, he needs to reevaluate his life as a quarterback. Because
it's someone even worse. I feel like isn't it one of the Steelers quarterbacks from last year? I want to say
not Pickett or not
I think
Pickett
it's one
or
of them.
Trubisky. He's in Buffalo.
Yeah. Maybe not then.
Oh, Rudolph?
Yeah, Mason Rudolph. I think he's
put him in. Swing some helmets. Let's go. We'll pay back.
Yeah.
Now, I think I was so high on the Titans too. Like, I got Ridley in like all my pools. I think something's got to happen here. Like,
that's insane. You're insane for that. I just want you to know.
I know.
That's your worst betting thought of the year.
No, you heard it here first. You heard it here first, everybody.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it. Stand by something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Ridley.
All right. I'm going to I think the Jets have something to prove after their shit kicking. And this is like a must, not even a must win, a must demolish. Because the Titans, I think, were projected to be like a bottom 4 team. So if they can't crush the Titans, I don't want to say their season's over, but I just think that their chances of everyone saying, them being solid is not good.
I think they match up better to this game for sure. Because I don't know if the Titans really have a run game. They've got great defense, so I'm with you. I think the Jets probably will
do it. This one I know where I'm going. Tampa Bay versus the Lions. The Lions are 7.5 point favorites. I'm in on Baker Mayfield. I'm in on the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks should be 7.5 point underdogs in any game aside from I don't know, maybe the Chiefs and the Niners. I guess the Detroit, some people think they're a top 4 team. That's just a lot of points. And I think the Bucks are good.
This is the Bucks division to lose. Baker's playing unreal. Baker looks like Johnny Manziel at A&M at Texas A&M. You got Mike Evans out there, throw him the ball, and then he's got good role players around him. Baker's QBR was number 1 in the league last week.
It was, yeah. He had some incredible throws too. The little over the defender's shoulder.
Yeah.
He was looking lovely.
Yeah, he's got how stupid is Cleveland? Seriously. You sell Baker off and you get that meathead coming in. You pay him a buttload of money and you had this guy in the door, man. You even gave him the stadium doing commercials.
Yeah, the key.
It was his stadium.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, I'm with you. I'm Bucks all over this one. This one screams Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that a lock of the week as the Bucks covering that. Even I said it in the other podcast, but Carolina had Baker Mayfield as well. So Carolina went from having Baker Mayfield to trading away Caleb Williams, and essentially, which it's just insane that it also shows you that I've got a big thing where I think I'm never high on a lot of quarterbacks who are drafted high overall, unless we know that they're for sure good. But I'm out on Jaden Daniels. I'm out on a little bit on Caleb and Bo Nix, just because they're going to not good franchise. They're not set up to win. Where a Ben Roethlisberger went to Pittsburgh, or Lamar Jackson. Would he be Lamar Jackson with the Ravens? Would what's his name in San Francisco? Why can't I think of the quarterback there right now?
Purdy?
Yeah, would Brock Purdy be Brock Purdy if he was with the Jaguars? Or would he just be a regular dude,
Yeah. I think it comes down to patience. If the franchise is willing to be patient, then he's got all the trust in the world, and you're going to make mistakes. Rookies make mistakes. Young players make mistakes. You're supposed to learn from them. And if you're not learning from them, then that's when you're can this guy really get it? But to not have the patience with a Baker or not have a patience with, like, say, Fields. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard good things about Fields, like, as a person. So I think, it all comes
inside info from Kev. Kev says Justin Fields is a horrible person. This is news to me.
In the locker room. Like, if you're not a locker room guy, then you're not going to fit in. Fit in or fuck off kind of thing. Right? Like, so.
Wow. Fuck off. Kevin Backer, you heard it here. Kevin, Justin Fields, fuck you.
You know why? Because Broncos are playing him this week and he's going down.
Okay, and, now we're getting to the bottom. I was like, whoa, where this? Poor Justin Fields is having his breakfast or lunch right now, and also he's getting strays from Kevin Backer.
Guy.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, like you mentioned Bo Nix. Like, I just think the Broncos are going to be patient with him. Chicago has to be patient because they've just hyped up Williams so much. And it just comes down to that. And I don't think as a quarterback, you can't fast pace it. It's just progressively just naturally happens. And like Peyton Manning holds a record for most interceptions as a rookie.
Yeah.
Peyton, right? What would have happened if they would have moved from Peyton after the second year?
Yeah.
Right? So, absolutely. And I think actually Jacksonville is so smart because they haven't really hyped up Lawrence as much as most teams probably would, because it's a progression, it's a process. It's not.
Yeah.
And so
he's got the talent.
Yeah. So Baker, good on you, buddy.
Yeah, good job, Bakes. Rams, Cardinals. Cardinals are 1-point favorites. I was high on the Cardinals to do better than last year. Their defense is still awful. I think the Rams are legit. I don't understand this line whatsoever. I'm making it a lock of the week. The Rams cover. Like they're plus 1-point favorites. I think they win the game outright.
Yeah.
Something weird 100%. Must be going on that we don't know if the Cardinals win, but I just don't get it. I think the Rams are a top 6-7 team in the NFC.
I heard somewhere on an amazing podcast that this must be like a divisional thing. Like a record thing. Like the Rams play terrible in Arizona or something.
Which just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
that awesome podcast was Foreverland.
Faneverland.com and the Fraser LeVay podcast. Yeah, Blaze was wondering if it was a division thing. He wasn't sure, but I guess we'll find out.
I'll tell you this much, man. Like, I was so impressed with the Rams, the way that they played last week. Like, Cooper Kupp's back, which I like. Puka, like, okay, you lose Puka, but that kid that came in after Puka, that Robinson kid, he played just as good. They've got a run game. It's just that their defense can just I don't see anybody on the Cardinals really blowing them out either. So
I don't know anyone who could name 3 players on the Cardinals defense. I'm not putting you on the spot either. I'm just saying I don't know anyone who can name 3.
I couldn't even tell you one.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa, no, wait. Their safety.
Budda Baker. Right? Yeah, because that's an easy name to remember. No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Baker?
No, yeah, Budda Baker. So we're both on the Rams. Next game, which seems like the Steelers minus 2.5 against the Broncos.
No,
sorry, Kev. Oh, what was it before?
I'm pretty sure it was 3.
Okay. Well, I'm all in on the Steelers to crush them by a lot more than that. I think their defense, I've said it from the start, is a top 5 defense, and now they're showing it.
It is.
And I've always loved Justin Fields. I think I went to his Fiesta Bowl game.
He's a terrible person.
He's an awful person, says Kevin Backer. But he's just, I've always liked him. He played on the Bears. Sure, he could throw the ball in college. It wasn't like he was just only a runner. I felt like he really threw absolutely incredible balls in college.
His receivers were amazing.
Yeah.
Like Olave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had like all these awesome receivers. I can play quarterback for Ohio State.
That's fair. So I still think there's talent there, and I think he's a better got thrown away by the Bears. I think he's at least a
Yeah,
poor man. I think he's a middle class man's Lamar Jackson.
Russell Wilson. Oh, who?
Yeah. Lamar Jackson. But yeah, so I think he's going to hold on. Bold prediction. I said this before that Russell wasn't going to hold on to the starting job all year. I think Fields takes it and never gives it back for the rest of the year.
It's already proven. I think. Do you see all the memes about only Russ would show up on the sideline dressed in his gear when he's still not even starting or even playing? Like what a corny dude. Like,
yeah.
In all honesty, like this is Fields' team now. Russ is just there for in case something happens, and I don't know. I think first home game. I'm a homer, so I'm obviously going to pick the Broncos, but I think our linebackers can spy enough to show that Fields can't run on us, and we could get some good presence there. But the defense for Pittsburgh really scares me because we played who the Seahawks aren't the greatest defense, but they showed it against a rookie quarterback, kept everything in front, and just made every tackle. Broncos wide receivers need to get fucking open is what they need to do. They need to be able to get some separation and help this kid out. But I do think the Steelers, I would lean Steelers. But I'm cheering for
them. That's fair, Kev. Good job. I'm taking the Steelers as a lock of the week, -2.5. I also think if you're doing an alternate spread, even like 6.5 points to get some more money on that, I think the Steelers blow them out. Just like how we're saying how the Ravens can play from in front and the Chargers will play from in front. I think the Steelers are the same way, though. Once they kind of get that lead, they'll just crush.
Yeah, they'll just pound them all.
Yeah. Chiefs, Bengals, -6 point favorites. The Chiefs are -6 point favorites over the Bengals. This is a stay away for me just purely based on Joe Burrow's health. I think if he truly his wrist is okay, they rise to the occasion. They always do that against the Chiefs. They have an amazing game. But if he's like just not healthy, then the Chiefs blow them out. So I just don't know what to think here.
Yeah, this is a hard one to pick because what Burrow shows up, because Burrow can just dominate the Chiefs for some reason. He has that ability. But Chiefs at home, I think they just demolish them.
Yeah.
Did you see like their scheme, the way that they're involving all these players? I mean, like they're 4 weeks ahead right now compared to other teams. Feel it'd be hard not to pick Chiefs on this one.
I'm only going to take the Bengals because this is my last chance to say, okay, Joe Burrow is healthy, and if not, I'll never take the Bengals again for the rest of the season. But I'm just I'm only just thinking that the Bengals, Joe Burrow could be healthy, and he's not scared of the Chiefs. I think that's the big thing is the mental side. He's the only person who knows, or at least thinks he knows, he can beat the Chiefs. So I'm just going to take the Bengals points. But if they get blown out here, which they could, if he's not healthy, then I'm down on the Bengals for the rest of the season.
I just don't think they want to waste his throws. I think that he's just going to hand the ball off to Moss and walk out of there. Because Higgins is still, I think he's still not right, and Chase, who knows what the heck's going on there. Like I said, this is Kansas City all over it for me.
Yeah, that's fair. Bears, Texans. This line was -3.5 before last week, and I can't bet down here in Costa Rica, but I was trying to do a parlay, which I guess I would have lost because I would have taken the Bears to lose, to not cover last week, and then also not cover the 3.5 spread this week, but it was like a Bears loss combo. So, but anyways, this has gone up from what was a projected 3.5 points to now 6.5 for the Texans because they saw the Bears can't do anything on offense. I'm taking the Texans, but I mean 6.5 is a lot of points, but I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I'm just not high on the Texans, but this is like a primetime game, rookie quarterback, primetime game. Stroud's been there before. The Texans team offense looks amazing, and Mixon now in there is just unbelievable. How are you with Tank Dell? Are you big Tank Dell guy?
I'm just like I think he's got all the tools to be really good. So I've just, yeah, I'm not like, oh my God, he's the greatest thing, but I think he's really good. I don't have
Yeah.
a care either way, I guess, like a plus or
If you
minus.
were to number the receivers for the Texans, how would you rate them?
I think that's like impossible because they're just so. I guess I would go. I don't even know. I think
Including the running back. So, like, how would you rate the progression? If you were Stroud and you're throwing and you had to throw one pass, who are you throwing to?
I think I don't have an answer for you. I think they all are like Diggs. I just don't like. I think he's kind of cancerous, but he can still get open. So I
Still
mean,
hurt by, by that
yeah,
standard, still hurt.
yeah. But I think he can get open. So no, that trade out worked
Yeah.
out good. We got Justin Jefferson for it, and he's a good
Oh,
team
I didn't know
guy.
that was
So
a return. Okay. Yeah, for the
yeah, so
draft pick.
we got the pick, and the pick we took was Justin Jefferson, so it worked out well.
You won that. You won that trade.
Yeah, exactly. But no, what's your answer then? Tell us. You got the insider thoughts. I don't know what to think.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be Tank Dell. He wouldn't
Why
be my
don't you
number
like Tank
one.
Dell? Why do you hate
I
Justin
think he
Fields and
just.
Tank Dell?
I don't know anything about Tank Dell, but I just know that I know a lot of people that are really high on him, and I'm like, that offense has just so many people. You can't just be like, that guy is the guy, because there's just not enough to go around. So I honestly feel he's third on the progression chart. Like, you bring in a guy like, and bringing a guy like Diggs in to the slot, and he played majority of the slot last week. Well, that is what Tank Dell was kind of for. I know he's a burner too, but he's a small guy, he's fast, but I don't know. I feel like he's more of a gadget now. He's not even really the number one guy. Like Nico, that guy is a beast. And then you've got kind of different pieces to the puzzle, but I just don't think Tank Dell just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to be, the number one. So yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of my 2 cents on it. But
yeah, it's no, it seems like you do have something against him. That's just a random person to just hate on you. Just, hey, let me pick the third best wide receiver on a team, and I just really want everyone to know he's a piece of shit.
All right, backstory. I do have a bet that Tank Dell is not going to get 8 touchdowns and 800 yards. But
okay, there you go. That's better.
That is a side bet with other people for another time. But
and he slept with your wife.
I just want your 2 cents on
it. Yeah. Okay.
Bring my own personal beliefs in this.
Yeah, we hate Justin Fields. We hate Tank Dell on this podcast. Good to know. Also, just across the ticker, CMC, Christian McCaffrey's out for this game.
Knew it. See? Upset. Actually, that kind of goes against what I said, because Mason played in the offense last week. But I think Minnesota can stop the run. So that puts a little bit more on Purdy. Debo will get hurt, and then they'll lose. So there you go.
That's fair. All right. Last game, Monday Night Football. Oh my God. I think I've got locks of the week for all but like 3 games. I don't know which to bet. But Eagles are 6.5 point favorites against the Falcons.
What Falcon team is going to show up here? Like, all the hype, like they won the offseason, right? They got the offseason.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I think I think Kirk Cousins is absolute trash. They got, what's an award that no one cares about? They got like the
offseason Lombardi. No one cares about the offseason Lombardi. Like they generally.
I still think maybe the Bears get the offseason Lombardi. I think they got something like that's fake.
Well, that's a good, yeah.
Like there's like one of those awards, like not like the Oscars, but there's like the shitty one that no one cares about. They got that because Kirk Cousins is trash. I've said it forever, and he's showed it. He loves to do this thing where he throws an interception early, so then they come back, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, they came back from 17 points." It's like, yeah, because he fucking put them in a 17-point hole. That's why.
Yeah.
And now like all the pressure's off because he's playing with nothing to lose, because there is nothing to lose because they're down 17 points. And then he brings them back. But when they're like the pressure's on, he can't do it. It's also a Monday night game. And he threw an interception to lose the game last week against not the Eagles. The Eagles have what? Like 13 days rest? 12 days rest? I think the Eagles beat him by
I mean,
Yeah.
they've got this is like a new week one for them. Like they've got all this time
Mm-hmm.
to get ready for this game. And
And
I
the
also heard
Falcons
Cousins
defense is
kicking the
trash. Yeah, no, you can't.
Falcons defense. Yeah, yeah.
Saquon
I
might
think I
run
could
for 300 yards. That's a bet. We'll find a bet out there, people. Whatever's 200 or what's
yeah.
like a lot.
Draft
What's a
game, FanDuel.
reachable? What's a reachable yards run?
Oh,
Like 150 you can do
let's say
easy. I'm saying like let's go 200. What's the most?
200.
Like
This is
just
in
as a
Philadelphia.
flyer. Yeah, in Philadelphia. Just as a flyer, like it'll be plus 800 odds kind of thing.
Well, okay. How many running yards did the Falcons give up last week?
Okay, so the most rushing yards in a single game, Adrian Peterson, 296 yards.
Whoa,
There have been
that's doable.
30, yeah, there have been 30 players who've gone for 230. There have been 60 players who've gone for 220 or more. So I'm saying
Chop.
he's going to have 175, whatever that is on DraftKings.
That's safe.
175.
I think 175 is safe because
Yeah.
all-purpose yards or just rushing.
No, just rushing yards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Active players who have ran for a lot. Jonathan Taylor is ninth on the list with a 253-yard game. Derrick Henry, a 250. Derrick Henry again, a 238. Josh Jacobs, a 229. Leonard Fournette is still in the league. I didn't know that, but he had a 225 rushing yard game.
Yeah, he's on someone's practice squad.
Oh.
I mean, if Leonard Fournette can do it, Barkley can smash it. So
Yeah. So
wow.
I think that's a fun little
so
175er. So good. He looks better than everyone on earth.
Yeah, he was the best player in Brazil, hands down.
You would never get this. I don't think many people would get this. And this is an impossible question to answer, aside from like people who are super experts. But try and guess, well, the top 3 leaders of rushing yards in a game. AP, that's at least an easy one. Jamal Lewis with Baltimore is second. Then
he was really good though.
Yeah. Jerome Harrison with Cleveland is third. Well, Jerome Harrison, Kansas or Cleveland Browns sighting.
He was like a one-hit wonder too, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Corey Dillon fourth, Walter Payton fifth, OJ sixth, Sean Alexander seventh, Jamal Charles eighth, Jonathan Taylor, DeMarco Murray 10th. So there's some facts for you.
DeMarco.
Yeah, a little DeMarco Murray action. But anyways, those are the running back top 10 games of all time. And we're telling you, go bet Saquon for 175 yards or more rushing.
And where would that put Barkley on the list at 175?
Oh, I don't even know. He'd be outside the top 60.
Oh, then that's a lock. That's the lock of the week.
Yeah, lock of the week. Bet. It would be fun. Like, let's say he cracks top 40. You'd have to have 225 or more. So, yep.
I think all purpose.
Yeah,
he's getting that.
That's true.
But
yeah. Well, all right, Kev. Well, we covered all the games. We'll have to do quarterback ranking some other time because we killed this one. No, it was perfect. We did an hour 17. Best bets. Any week 1 sign off thoughts before we take off?
Well, I got a bone pick with you. I wanted to get in the quarterbacks, but Matthew Stafford, I think that guy is unbelievable, and he's still back. He's never left.
Okay,
but
where would you put him? So we can dive into a quick.
He's okay. He's in the top 5, hands down. Like
what?
Yeah.
Holy. Yeah.
Matt Stafford could win MVP of the year this year. Like,
holy smokes.
If he stays healthy, man, that guy, the way he sees the field, and you can call him a game manager too a little bit, but like,
yeah,
him and McVay are just on the same page, and he's by far should be higher on that list that you have.
I put Matt Stafford, everyone, at 12th on the list, behind Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love.
Not even the same conversation.
Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. Interesting. Hey, I mean, he has looked good. He could move up the
Again,
list.
that was against his old team in the old barn, and it went down to overtime. And like, he's better than Jalen. He's better than Burrow. Better than he's top 5. He's top. Yeah, he's top 5 for sure, 100%.
All right. I mean, I'm not fully against it. I'll give him top 10. But yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers could obviously he could pass him. So boom, that's one person right there. Dak, he's just a good stats guy. So yeah, in terms of a winner, I would take Stafford. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. You know, I guess Matthew Stafford is a better game manager, but Brock was almost an MVP last year. I'm not against it, but yeah, I guess we'll see. I like it. It's a good take, Kev. I'm not going to shit on it. All right. Well, this is the Fraser LeVay podcast with Kev. And yeah, signing off. See you next week when we see how these bets do. VanEverland.com. VanEverland.com. The Fraser LeVay podcast. See you later. And don't go Broncos.